Hi there, welcome to the Whiteboat Studio. We're not actually at the Whiteboat Studio this morning, we're at home. And I've got a note here to say, don't say basically or guys. So that's just a reminder. But just in case I forget, I've got my little helper here today, who's Sarah, and she's going to be
Hi.
there she is. Sarah's going to be taking care of the chat, so I'll be doing the painting because I'm going to be quite busy, and Sarah will be doing the looking after everybody. So hope you enjoy this one. It's a short lesson on what not watercolour painting. that's on Sunday. This one's about pen and ink, and I've been putting quite a lot of things online about my technique for using Lamy pens, which are these. I don't know if you can see that. I'll hold it up to the up there. I don't know, can you see? Will it focus? Anyway, this is a Lamy pen, Lamy, and I have 3 different nib sizes. I've got a small, medium and a large, which are these 3. And you can, I don't know if you can see the difference between them, but they're small, medium and large. And these are filled with Lamy ink, which dries to a lovely green colour, which is great for watercolour painting. And the technique that I use for this type of work is something that I use online. Sorry, when I'm painting outside plein air, and I use these, which is a water brush, and it's you just fill them with water. I've got these in 3 different sizes: small, medium, and large. And these are cheap as chips. Oh, the middle one doesn't seem to have any water in. Can we just stop that and I'll start that again? just pause it, just stop, and we'll So these were the three sizes of water brush, and you can use these with watercolour paint, and all you do is just squeeze them to clean them out, which is great, and they're handy to take around, and the caps seem to seal quite well. When I paint plein air, because it's usually in hot countries, I found that I was getting frustrated with watercolour painting because it was everything was just drying too fast. So I actually came up with this technique on a beach in Thailand, and this is some of my some things from my sketchbooks. I can add colour later as well. So basically I record everything in this. Oh, I think I just said basically, Sarah, you didn't pick me up on that one, did you?
No, we'll do later.
Sorry, did I say basically then?
Yes.
Okay. Right, so this is the technique that I use for recording scenes quickly while I'm outside. I use the Lamy pens to put some ink on the so the lights. I'll put the arrow in a bit darker so you can see it. So this is the arrow, and that's the direction of the light. This was one that I did in Vasiliki with a student. I was trying to teach her how to use this technique, and it's about getting the ink on. This is the wide nib, and then very quickly before it dries, adding water. So this is the dark side of this mountain, so I want this ridge to be quite dark. And that's the technique that I use when I'm painting outside. And you can see you can get all sorts of tonal variations from the very blackest things. So that's one of the darkest things on this painting is around here, the dark side of the church and this house and this tree against a very light mountain. The only problem that I come across with this technique is that when I'm painting the sky areas, if I was to use a pen, you always end up with a hard line, which isn't a problem in areas such as this. But in the sky area, it would be a big problem because there's rarely any hard lines with clouds. So my solution to that is to do this, which is to mix up a real weak mixture of Lamy ink. So I've just put a few drops of Lamy ink in there and kept adding the water to it until it's the tone that I like. So if I was doing the sky on this one, for instance, I may do this wet into wet, which will make it even lighter. So I'm just using a normal small brush, just a synthetic brush, and some water, and I'm just going to add some water to this sky area. I'm leaving some hard edges, and then just drying my brush off on a piece of tissue, and then into the ink. And you can see now there's no hard black edges where the pen's hit. It's literally just a wet into wet sky, just like you do if you were painting watercolours. I think I've been touching this paper with my fingers because there's a resist on that. It's been kicking around since I left Greece, so that's not surprising really. So now I've got all the tonal variations from the white of the paper to the darks without any hard lines. The secret to this technique is to work very quickly, particularly if you're working in full sun. I'll just do some without doing wet into wet, so we'll have the sky a bit darker over here. And then we'll go lighter away from this mountain. So I'm not dipping into the ink now, and I might leave one or two small white areas in there. I'm aiming for counter change, so that's contrast between the darks and the lights in this painting. These are being done next year as a range of postcards, both in Greece and in Sozopol, Bulgaria. It's turned quite cool in Sozopol now. We're actually in a small village where we have a village house, so I'm fortunate that I have a couple of places where I can paint. So that's the technique for doing these quick sketches. I'll do some more on one of the buildings just so you can see. So I'll pick whichever brush size I think is appropriate for an area. So for instance, let's have, so the light's coming from the right, so this might be quite a dark area.
Let's move on a bit.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is quite a dark area here, and I want it to be quite dark underneath here, which is going to contrast with all these people. So I'll use my water brush under here, and I just want to spread this down, but I want to give a hint of people and buildings in the background underneath this umbrella. We'll do the same on here, and we'll do the same under here. Again, dark on this side, dark underneath there, maybe a little bit of dark on this side, but we just want a mid-tone. So can you see how I've just added a very small amount of, can you see that? A very small amount of ink on there. So I'm just going to spread this down now, because I want a mid-tone there. I don't want the very darkest darks, so I haven't used much ink on that side. And you can actually pinch bits of ink from here, and you can add it over here. So you get a full tonal range from the darkest darks to the lightest lights using this technique. And that's why I like it. If the ink's still wet, it bleeds, and if it's dry, it doesn't. But it doesn't take very long to dry, literally seconds. So we'll do the same kind of reverse painting around a hint of people under here. Doorways in the background. Literally anything goes. I call these brush strokes, when I do them in watercolour, Morse code. I may even just dip into my ink. Try and go for a little bit of mid-tone there without any hard edges. And then just the suggestions of tables, chairs, people, and I'll strengthen those when I come back to it. So that's how I paint in using pen and ink. I don't know if you can see that. So why not give it a go? I'm sure you could use this with other inks. I've heard that Quink is very good. I know that Lamy ink is beautiful and it works great with their pens. So I would highly recommend that you give that a go. So happy painting. So if you'd like to subscribe to my YouTube channel, we could do without the clicking, sir, on the keyboard. So please subscribe, and if you hit the little bell that's next to the subscribe button on YouTube, you'll be informed every time I go live. We're scheduled to do this every Sunday at midday Bulgarian time, which is 10 AM GMT every Sunday throughout the winter. So please tune in. It's going to start with, it'll be mainly watercolours that I'll be concentrating on. I think we've got the first 7 or 8 lessons booked in already by request on my Martin Stevenson live streams Facebook page. You can also find me on on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, all over the place. The trail is long but distinguished. So anyway, from myself, you'll never see me, but here's a picture of me painting on the harbour. This is where we run our painting holidays from in Bulgaria, from a place called the White Boat Studio, which is beautiful, and I run these holidays and short mini breaks throughout the year. This is Sarah and I when we were both a little bit younger. So I'm sure she wouldn't mind me saying that. If you'd like to donate all these, my free ebook, Watercolours for Beginners, if you just send me an email to artstevo@gmail.com or whiteboatstudio@gmail.com. There's also a Facebook group called Watercolours for Beginners, and you can ask to be a member of that. If you'd like to donate, you can do so on Patreon, or you can donate to artstevo@gmail.com via PayPal, and that's securely using in your own currency. So any donations will be greatly appreciated, and I won't be buying a new car. I'll just spend it at the art shop, or hopefully make another ebook on pen and inks or acrylics or all the other things that I'd really like to do. So thank you for watching, and please tune in to the next one. From Sarah and I, bye for now.
Bye.